Repeat after me 3 times. I will do something nice for myself today. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you my fun little parasol purchase. We're going to take a tour to the New Hampshire Antique Co-op, an amazing store. I hope you stick around to watch and see some of the things that I found. And then I'm going to go back home and I'm going to be making another very casual flower arrangement with Lily of the Valley and Ferns. I thought I would share this special little purchase that I made, and it's just for myself. It's just for me to enjoy. And while I'm home, I really enjoy walking around with my parasol, not just because it is functional. I am not good with the sun. A lot of times I get headaches, and I've actually had some sun allergies, but it just makes me feel special. And I watch a lot of my old movies, and I just really appreciate seeing the women walking around with their parasols. So I had to buy this one when I saw it at a thrift store. It is vintage, and I absolutely love it. Now that the heavy labor is done in the garden, I get to walk around and enjoy things. The peonies are just about ready to open. They are full of blossoms this year. I have some in the back of the garden that I transplanted that really didn't do much of anything, but they're going to flower this year, and even the ants are starting to enjoy the sweet liquid that they're putting off right now. I'm also going to walk over and I'm going to show you the Batchelor Buttons that I shared in one of my last videos. They are blooming and they are now giving the garden a little pop of color. But in the meantime, I did stake up all of the peonies. Last year I lost quite a few to a storm, and the clouds are coming in. But here's the Batchelor Buttons. Aren't they sweet? And if you remember, I told a little story that bachelors used to wear them on their lapel. And if they died while they're courting somebody, they would move on possibly to the next little lady. But anyways, I find some weird factoids when I'm reading. But I'm wondering, what have you done for yourself that is special? Something that's just for you. It doesn't have to be buying a parasol. It could be just making yourself a glass of homemade lemonade. It could be just grabbing a book and sitting outside. I really enjoy making those special times just for myself because life is hectic right now, and if we don't take care of ourselves, we won't be able to help take care of others. Now I invite you to stay with me through the whole video. I'm going to head inside and then I'm going to take you to an antique store that I found with amazing prices, and then we're going to come back and make a floral arrangement. An exciting shopping destination has been found. Friends, I came across this antique co-op as I was heading to another store, and I'm going to show you the other store later. But as soon as I walked in, my jaw literally dropped because I'm used to seeing a lot of these beautiful antique stores on the North Shore where I grew up, but they're far and few between where I'm living right now. I could also go into the Boston Design Center and see much of this. But like I said, I walked into the door and I couldn't believe I didn't know of this location sooner. I even had a friend tell me about it, but it wasn't what I was envisioning. The prices run across the board. There's a chair here for $95, but then they had some that were $2,000 to $3,000. I was even measuring for my own space. The building is set up in different rooms. He actually has what he calls like you're walking down Main Street, and there's rooms for small items like this, rooms for antiques, and a little bit later I'm going to show you upstairs where there is art, oil paintings from $1,000 to $40,000. So like I said, the prices are all over the place here. So don't think that you're going to go in here and only see one type of price range. This is about 200 vendors, and they price accordingly to what they would like to get and what the antique is. I loved the color of these dishes. These were sold, but my love of dishes just went right to them. And while I have a moment, I would love to thank those of you who have gone to some of the stores that I've shared with you and mentioned that you saw it on New England Fine Living. These are not sponsored visits. I go in, one, for me, for my own visual eye candy, but two, I love to help small business owners. And if you let the New Hampshire Antique Co-op know that you saw it here on New England Fine Living, I'd really appreciate it. The owner actually took the time to show me around a bit, and I really enjoyed my visit. And if you go, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy your visit too. Once again, here's that chair, $95. I wish I had a place for it in my home. When I walk around stores like this, I'm constantly making mental notes of, if I like an item, could I use it in my home? Could I use it in a client's home? Looking at the size, the dimension, the color. I love the patina of this particular piece, and I like the seated glass with the air bubbles in it. And the prices, once again, blew me away. I think they're very reasonable. This is a pair of chairs. I think it was $125 for the pair. I'm gonna probably, I zoom in here, $125 for a pair of chairs from the 1800s. Another aspect of the store that I really liked is the mix of woods and styles. You have pine, you have rattan, you have bamboo, mahogany, cherry. It's across the board. You would have room after room after room. Once again, I cannot explain enough how excited I was to find this store, and it's not too far from my home. I really don't know how I didn't know about them, especially when I had the magazine and I was approaching advertisers that are New England businesses that focus on New England homes. Hello, where was I? But this is that room of smalls. It has a lot of items. I have this exact book. Actually, there's a lot in this area here that I have some the same or similar items. When I turned a corner in the smalls room, my eye caught this vintage golf club bag. My husband has his grandfather's. It looks just like that. And then I saw this print. My mind immediately said, I have to have that for Ben's office. It's going to look amazing on the deep maroon walls, and I did pick it up. I also love these etchings of the horse and hunt theme. The prices, once again, I'm sorry, I was just so excited to see everything in here. And here's my treasure. I'm coming home. I think it was $35. Now, if you have things you would like to sell, even though this has vendor spaces, they also take in consignments. And I would go on their website and check out how they work, because they might want you to send a photo first or give them a call. But they do offer, as you can see here, appraisals and consignments and restoration services. Full service business when it comes to antiques and vintage items. I literally felt like I was in my own theme park, the way they had this set up with rooms and names. That is something I like to do myself. I did that at my own store, so I appreciated it. And I had to go into this room. This particular vendor, I very much remember, had a booth space at the Boston Design Center in their market area. And I always went there, and I'm so glad now that it is local to me. Another location I'm going to check out is the Loft. And once I was up there, I realized it had a little different flair to it. It's things that really didn't mesh well with the antiques. I'm not sure if that was their plan, but you're going to see a little bit of a difference in what I'm talking about. Things that have a different flavor and feel to them. And my apologies for spinning a little fast here. You know, at one point I didn't even know I was going to be filming this, and I just had to share it. And I was heading to another location or another store, so I was moving a bit quickly. And this is what I meant by things that are different that I don't think would be perfect next to a 17 or 1800s piece of furniture. This was very unique too. I could see that used in somebody's home. And I'm focusing in on this hat because I picked up one similar from my online store for my equestrian theme page, but honestly, I'm just not finding the time to finish the online store, so I might have to put that off for a while. I'm right now quite busy with my own home, the house hunting, interior design clients, so that's going to go on the back burner. This is the art room that I was telling you about. The owners with me sharing a little bit, and like I said, oil paintings here are $1,000 up to $40,000, and some of them just had such a beautiful mood to them. I could almost escape into some of these paintings. I've said it before, one of my simple pleasures is enjoying the gardens and looking at the flowers that I have around me. But more so, I love to pick some of my flowers and make arrangements and have them around me inside the home and as centerpieces. So what I did here is I went out in the yard and I pulled up some of the lily of the valley, and I'm giving them all a nice fresh cut, a nice long cut up the stems so that they can drink up as much water as possible. Now, my intentions for this home floral centerpiece was to use some of the greens from the lily of the valley, the ferns. I brought in some ivy, and I was going to put them all together, but you're going to see that I end up with just the lily of the valley and the ferns. I wanted to have a nice, light, and airy centerpiece or floral arrangement that worked with this little vintage glass that I also found while thrift shopping last year, I believe. If you don't have flowers around you, what about just using greens? You can use some greenery from trees, from bushes, and make sure they're yours. Or if you want, ask a neighbor. They might let you just grab some of their flowers. I actually had to take a little break and bring the oval tray outside. I had a little spider that was walking around, and you know what they say about if you kill a spider, it's going to rain. And we already had enough rain. I'm ready for the sunshine now. I even tried some of my white bleeding hearts, but I decided to just do the lily of the valley and the ferns. And what I was pointing at there is I also have some of my white rhododendrons. I had just sketched the lily of the valley and the white rhododendrons, and that's kind of what inspired me to make the arrangement. I know they're going to pass so quickly, and I wanted to have these in my home for decoration and for the scent. And once again, the ferns were just from my yard. I'm going to give these a fresh cut as well and plop them in. Now, if you saw my other video on the white lilacs, I did have somebody ask how I keep mine alive. I have not figured that out either. Those do pass quickly, but I did get a couple days of an amazing scent in the sitting room. If one of our kindred spirits has a little secret to keep the lilacs alive, other than some of the flower foods or crushing the stems like we discussed, please let me know for next year. I'm going to make note, and some of the lilacs haven't bloomed in other areas, and you might be helping out another kindred spirit. And don't worry, I left plenty of lily of the valley out in the yard for the real bees to enjoy. These bees on our wallpaper are enjoying them almost as much. Thank you so much for visiting. My hopes are to help inspire you to find your own version of fine living, no matter how simple or grand that may be, no matter where you live. Bye now.